What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today we take a look at a potential change to a fan favorite exotic that could very well be one of the single greatest reworks an exotic weapon has ever undergone. One that will definitely make some big impacts to the sandbox and could possibly change the game of Destiny forever if these changes are made. We're talking about the Monte Carlo exotic auto rifle, one of the sexiest and most versatile weapons in Destiny, an exotic that has been in the game since Destiny 1. And as of September 19th, it was reported by Destiny Bulletin over on Twitter, an extremely reputable data miner and leaker, that Bungie is currently in the talks of adding a new feature to the Monte Carlo that would give its wielder the ability to use the Monte Carlo's bayonet as a glaive, a feature that many Destiny fans have been wanting ever since the inception of the Monte Carlo. This would be a much needed upgrade for the Monte Carlo, as it is one of the few remaining exotics to be without a catalyst. And with the recent introduction of some extremely game-changing exotics like the Touch of Malice and the Quicksilver, the Monte Carlo has slowly become a forgotten about exotic, which is extremely saddening considering that the Monte Carlo is an extremely beneficial weapon that can create some magnificent synergy with melee-focused builds. The Monte Carlo comes with the intrinsic perk called Monte Carlo Method. Dealing damage with this weapon reduces your melee cooldown and grants a chance to fully restore your melee energy with each kill. The Monte Carlo comes with a secondary intrinsic perk called Markov Chain. This weapon gains increased damage from melee kills and kills with this weapon. Melee kills grant this weapon additional ammo. While the last benefit isn't really important, the ability to regenerate melee energy while simultaneously increasing the Monte Carlo's damage output is absolutely top tier. The Monte Carlo is downright incredible in all regards, but sadly has just become outclassed by other weapons, which makes it very sensible why Bungie would want to give this weapon some extra juice to bring it back into the spotlight. And I think adding in glaive functionality could definitely be the turning tide for the Monte Carlo. Its perks are already set up perfectly for glaive features, a change that could certainly shake up the sandbox, as currently there are only energy and heavy glaives available in the game. If the Monte Carlo were to be given glaive features, it would be the first kinetic glaive, and a hybrid at that. It's unclear just how the glaive feature would work with the Monte Carlo, but after some deep thought on this matter, I feel that the most sensible approach for Bungie to take would be to add the new Bayonet glaive feature into a catalyst, allowing its wielder to swap modes of the Monte Carlo just as we currently swap modes for weapons like the Hard Light, the Quicksilver, or the Symmetry. After swapping modes, users would be able to use the Monte Carlo as a glaive with light attack abilities, having to swap modes back over to use its rifle functions. This also opens up the possibility of giving the Bayonet a heavy glaive attack that could be built up by getting kills with the Monte Carlo or melee attacks. If the Monte Carlo does take on a new glaive mode, this would raise some interesting questions as to how the Monte Carlo would interact with exotics like the Helm of Saint 14, which recently saw updates to allow for synergy with glaives. This would also open up the door for future kinetic glaives to be introduced into Destiny, which could further evolve the sandbox even more. There was no mention of a foreseen time frame that the Monte Carlo could undergo these changes, but with the Lightfall expansion drawing closer and closer, it seems as though that could be an appropriate time to introduce a reworked exotic. Bungie could even use this rework to their advantage by tying the Monte Carlo and its catalyst into a new exotic quest, which would surely make plenty of Guardians out there relieved, as I think I speak for everyone in saying that exotic RNG seems to be getting worse and worse, especially when it comes to raid exotics. But that's a topic for another day. In the meantime though, what are your thoughts on the Monte Carlo receiving a Bayonet glaive feature? Do you think this rework is likely to happen? Is this a change that you would welcome and rock out for yourself? Let me know in the comments below. That's going to wrap things up for today's video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to help support the channel below by hitting that like button along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated and both really do help support the channel. If you're in need of any help throughout this season, maybe with the raid, a dungeon, or any of the seasonal content, then be sure to check out the Discord link in the description below and join one of the greatest communities in all of Destiny. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.